Some people think the heart is the thing that's controlling us, but it sends messages to the brain, and then the messages are sent to the other parts of the body. The nervous system is made up of a network of nerve cells called neurons, and they transmit messages to and from the central nervous system to form impulses. The nervous system has two main groups: the central nervous system, or CNS, and the automatic nervous system. So just want to go back and recap on that. So the nervous system transmits messages between the brain, and the brain then sends it to other parts of the body. If you've ever had an operation or a really bad cut, when you cut yourself, whether it be or deliberately have a cut down, you break the nervous system. Yes, the nerve endings are broken because you've cut through them. And especially if you've had an operation, I don't know if anybody's had one, it takes a good 3 to 5 years, depending where the nerves have been cut from, for that nerve to regrow and join back again. And you can tell this happening because sometimes as the nerve is growing back, you get automatic sharp shocks. And you'll be just sitting there and all of a sudden you'll get that shock. And it's the nerve endings growing back. 3 to 5 years, depending what part of the body it is, for that nervous system to grow back. So don't control everything that the body does. It controls me talking, it controls my hand movement, it controls me walking, it controls my hair growing and the hair, it controls my nails, it controls everything the body does alongside the endocrine system. The endocrine system we're going to look at a little bit later. So the neurons is made up of a network, the nervous system, going ahead of myself, is made up of a network of nerve cells called neurons. And these transmit messages to and from the nervous system through impulses. So think of your phone or your computer we're using now. The brain would be the brain, so the hard drive, yes, that works it. That's the brain. But if I say I want to share my screen on Zoom and I press my little button, it has to send, my button has to send a message to the hard drive to say she wants to share, or she wants to go on WhatsApp, yes, or she wants to go on to Zoom. Yes, so think of it like that. So you've got your computer, you've got the hard drive, whether it be your phone, whatever device it is. For me, even if I turn the TV, for me to turn it on, there has to be a signal sent to the TV when I press the on button to say turn on or turn stations. That's the same thing that's happening in our body. Okay. So, central nervous system, also CNS. It's composed of the brain and the spinal cord. So two things, the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is protected by being surrounded by the bones of the cranium. Remember, the bones of the cranium is the bones on top. Remember when we looked at bones, you've got bones of the face and you've got bones of the cranium. Okay, so the brain is protected by the bones of the cranium, not really the face, because the cranium goes right down to the eyebrows. The spinal cord is protected by passing through the bones down your spine, the vertebrae, the spinal column. Okay, so when we look at the skeleton, we see those little vertebrae, and the actual nerves go down the center of the spinal column. This is if you have an accident or you have something happen to your back, yes, you sever those nerve endings, they break, you can be paralyzed. And depending where that break is or that damage is, as to am I totally paralyzed, am I paralyzed from the waist down, am I paralyzed from the waist up, it depends where that break is. Okay, so sometimes that's unrepairable. The brain is composed of several parts. The hypothalamus is the main, and the ventricle are the main parts. But you have also the medulla, you have the cerebrum, the cerebellum, yes? So different parts of the brain. As beauty therapists, we don't really, thankfully, deal with the brain. Okay, we don't have a treatment that we attach and we actually work out the brain or we make the brain pretty, or so it's for your, you know, the different parts of the brain. But as a therapist, a client's not going to come in and say, can you tell me all the different parts of my brain? Okay, so this is for you to acknowledge and know. Remember we spoke earlier about the flowers and the weeds? That's a wildflower. So we've got flowers, important information. We've got weeds that are just there that we need to know. And then we have wildflowers that are information that we may need to look at when we're studying or doing tests or assignments and things. But after that, we're not really going to use it. Okay, and that's one of those there. Okay. This is the, let's make this a little bit bigger so you can have a look. So this is the the nervous system that I was just speaking about. So you've got the brain or the hard drive, okay? Then you've got spinal columns. Remember I said they run down the spinal column. And can you see these little branches, the nerves branching off the spinal column? That's the ones that I said, if it gets severed, depends where it's severed, we could damage them and you can become paralyzed in that area. Let's see the central spinal column, and then you've got all the nerves running off, and they run off through the whole body, even down to the legs. Okay? Right, let's go back. Right, I'm going to make this a little bit small. So we can read it. So, are we all happy about the central nervous system? Are we all understanding? We got thumbs up there, everybody. If there isn't, somebody give me a thumbs down. If they're not happy, that's not a problem. On my other page. So ladies, all happy about the central nervous system? Perfect. Excellent. So we can move on. Well done. Okay. Then we've got the automatic nervous system. The clue is in the name. Okay. So it controls the involuntary activities of smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, and glands. Involuntary, things that we cannot control voluntary. I can hold my breath. I'm controlling that voluntary. Yes? I cannot, hopefully, stop my heart. Yes? It's beating away. It's involuntary. Okay? Cannot control the size of my pupil. It can change with height, but I can't control. So the automatic nervous system controls involuntary activities of smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, and glands. It regulates the size of the pupils. It causes or it regulates vasodilation, vasoconstriction. Vasodilation is opening up of blood vessels. They open and blood to the surface. Vasoconstriction is the closing of blood vessels. When we have vasodilation, we have something called erythema. Beauty therapists love erythema. When they see erythema, we're happy. There's a big smile on our face because that makes us know that whatever treatment we are doing, what we're working on the skin is working. because we're opening up those blood vessels. It's almost like being in a room, yes, and I'm talking to you, and then I have a look and I see big smiles on your face, opening up, because that means I put information into your head and you are happy and you guys understand. Yes, I can see smiles coming up there. Brilliant. So as a therapist, I'm really happy. Vasodilation, opening up. Okay. Means to close. So once you've got that information, you then will close your mind and you'll keep it there until you need it to come out again. Okay? It will also regulate our heart rate. So how fast our heart is beating, and movements of the gut. So that's movements of the gut, that's moving along in the gut, and secretion of most glands. Okay? And we can't control any of those, most of those. There may be situations that may increase it. For example, if we're scared, my heart rate will go up. Yes? But I'm not controlling it. It's because of the stimuli, the thing that's happening around me, that will make my heart rate go up. There are two divisions. It's the symptomatic and the parasympathetic divisions. Many organs receive a supply from each division. Fibers from one division stimulate the organ, while fibers from the other inhibit or calm down. Okay? So, going back to that, there's two divisions, sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions. Many organs receive a supply from both. Fibers from one will stimulate, and fibers from the other will calm or slow down. Sympathetic division stimulate in periods of stress or danger. It prepares the body for physical activity in the case of fighting or escape becomes necessary. Fight or flight. Anybody heard of that? Yes? No? So, for example, if a situation happens within your body and the body's thinking, oh my gosh, if I don't get away from this person, some harm is going to happen to me. So your body then gets stimulated from the parasympathetic division, and it will give you that extra energy to either fight that person off or be able to run away really, really quickly. Okay, fight or flight. Then you've got the parasympathetic division, and this will stimulate in the times of relaxation. As when you've finished this class, go back and read this to yourself and make sure you understand which one will stimulate us, get us ready, aggravated, ready to fight or flight, and which one will calm us down. Yes, that's a flower. That's really important. You will need to know that. So parasympathetic division stimulates in times of relaxation. Fibers of this division stimulate digestion and the absorption of food. Okay. Ever, you know, when you're really anxious and you're just worried about something and you're eating, but you're not really enjoying that food, and you also might get indigestion after eating that food. Yeah? It's because you're not relaxed. The gut is not relaxed. So it will not enable your digestion or your absorption of the food. Okay. Move on. Okay, nerves. There are two types of nerve. Both are composed of white fibers enclosed in a sheath. Okay, makes sense, doesn't it? So you've got your fibers, your nerves. You can't just have them floating around all over the place. So we have a sheath, something that holds them into place so they can travel to the various areas. Yeah. You have sensory nerves, and these receive information and relay the information to the brain that they are found, and they are found near the skin surface, and they will respond to touch, pressure, temperature, and pain. So they're found in the skin, they're found in the dermis of the skin, and they make us aware of our surroundings, because through these, they send a message to the brain that I can feel somebody touching me, or I touch something. I can feel pressure when something's pushing into me. I can feel heat or cold, and if something cuts me, I can feel pain. Then you've also got motor nerves. So you've got sensory nerves and you've got motor nerves. These are situated in the muscles. So the sensory nerves are found in the dermis and the skin. The motor nerves are found in muscles. And these act on information received from the brain, causing a particular response, typically a muscle movement. So for me to put my hand up like that, that was a motor nerve, and it's acting on a message from my brain telling me that I want to lift my hand and put it in the air. I want to put my hand down. So can you see the difference between the two? The first one, these receive information that's sent from the brain that will let me be aware of my surroundings, things that I can feel in my skin. The second one is found in the muscles, and it sends messages from the brain to whatever area to get me to move, to do what I need to do from here. Okay, so the main nerves of concern as a beauty therapist are the cranial nerves. As we move on to, especially level 2, as we move on to level 3 beauty therapy, if we do level 3 beauty therapy and level 4 beauty therapy, then more nerves will be important. For example, if you're doing level 3 body massage, you would need to know the nerves of the whole body, because you massage the whole body, or you work on the whole body. Body electrics, again, you're working on the body. Facial electrics, you're working on the face. So though it says beauty therapists, the main ones are the face, because the main areas we do on the face, you will need to know the other nerves of the body if you move on as and when. So you've got the cranial nerves, the 5th cranial nerve, or the trigeminal nerve, 7th cranial nerve of the face, 11th cranial nerve, or the accessory nerve. The 5th cranial nerve, the trigeminal nerve, is around the eyes. It serves the tear glands of the eyes, the skin of the forehead, and the upper cheeks. The maxillary nerve serves the upper jaw and teeth and muscles involved in chewing. Okay, so those ones are quite important. Those are very, very big main flowers that we need to know. Okay, so it's broken down. You just need to know where they serve, what part of the body work on. Got a nice picture here. So where they are. Yeah, the eye, the forehead, the maxilla, and the mandible, the 5th cranial nerve. So you can see it's one nerve, and you can see it's branched out into those 3 areas. Go into our next 7th cranial nerve, or the facial nerve. The 7th cranial nerve has 5 branches. The temporal nerve, this serves the bicularis oci and the frontalis muscles. So these muscles, we haven't actually done muscles yet, so these will be new. Some of you have done the muscles. The bicularis oci is around the eye, frontalis is the forehead. Zygomaticus nerve. This serves the eye muscles. Zygomaticus are under your cheekbones. The buccal nerve serves the upper lip and the sides of the nose, found here. Mandibular nerve serves the lower lip and mentalis muscle of the chin. And the cervical nerve serves the platysma, which is at the side, muscles of the neck. So let's have a look on our pictures, and you can see them. So one nerve with 5 branches. Okay, so roughly where they are. Go one down. And then you've got the 11th cranial nerve, or the accessory nerve. This serves the sternomastoid. Sternomastoid is in your neck. And the trapezius, which is found at the back of the neck and on the shoulders. And this moves the head and shoulders. And you can see where it is at the back, literally behind the ear. Yeah. These are the main muscles that we need. Sorry, muscles. I'm going because I'm saying all the muscles out. These are the main nerves that we need to study and know about. Ready for our anatomy physiology test, ready for our treatments. Okay. Right, also part of the nervous system is something called the olfactory system. The first cranial nerve, so the first one, remember we looked at the 5th, 7th, the 11th, this is the first cranial nerve, it's called the olfactory nerve. It's a sensory nerve that gives us the sense of smell. From olfactory lobes, nerve fibers run to the olfactory center of the cerebral cortex along the olfactory tract. In this olfactory center, the impulses are interpreted as sensations. Smell may influence the behavior of a person. Pheromones are scents given off by animals, including us humans, to encourage sexual attention. They may be responsible for male-female attraction and male-to-male acts of aggression. Food have a pleasant aroma for us to enjoy it. So if we smell some food, yeah, and it's not very good food, it may have gone off, it may be sitting there for a few days in the heat, and we smell it, and we think, oh my gosh, that smells. Would you really want to go and eat that? It may taste delicious, guys. It may do, but the point that it smells terrible, we're not going to eat it. So food must have a pleasant aroma for us to eat it. If it smells good, I think, oh, let me have a try of that. I may not even like it, but because it